What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of Family Rising. Thank you so much for joining us. Today is a little bit different. I'm going to do a little bit of a takeover for this video, but Jenilee will have her opinion in it as well, because that's like super important. But I want to do a little bit of storytelling before we jump into today's video. And today's video, as you can tell by the title, it's about breastfeeding in public specific, and more specifically about being the partner of the breastfeeding partner, right? So how do you as a partner support your breastfeeding partner in public? And I thought of this topic because Jenilee and I had an experience recently that I found myself having a lot of insecurities that I didn't know I had, and I guess I just didn't know I had these insecurities. And so when they came up, it was really surprising, and I found myself feeling shame and guilt and disappointment in myself, and I just thought, like, all of those feelings are not helpful in this situation. So why don't I focus on what I can change, figure out maybe why some of these thoughts are in my head, and how to maneuver through them, right? So that's what this video is about. And it all started the other day. Jenilee was breastfeeding in public, and I just started to notice that I was looking around at everybody. Like, are they looking at my baby? Are they looking at Jenilee? Are they looking at my baby? Right? Having all these thoughts. Then I found myself getting just like worked up. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to relax, and I'm going to try to work into this, right? So I sat next to Jenilee, and I put my arm around her, right? But the only dilemma there is that Jenilee was already feeding my energy, and she felt like me putting my arm around her was actually covering up, like, you know, her breastfeeding in public, which it wasn't. And I'm happy we had the conversation afterwards, so we were able to discuss all of that. But the point is that I need to find good ways to support my beliefs that breastfeeding in public is a bad thing. And that is really disappointing for me to say, to be honest. Like, I feel like this is something that I didn't know that I thought. I always felt like I'm really positive. I'm like, yeah, women should be able to breastfeed. Yeah, free the titties, free the nipples, do it, right? But the reality is that society has taught me well on how to feel ashamed about the natural process of breastfeeding in public. And so I'm going to flip the script, and I'm going to feel good about it. I want to feel positive about it. So I noticed that in order for me to feel good, like, I need to support Jenilee more. So I need to support the breastfeeding partner more. That supports me. So how do we do that? Well, we have a few tips here on how to do just that. So for today's tips on how you as a partner can support your breastfeeding partner in public, I've got three main tips for you. And the first, honestly, the most important tip, number one tip, is be supportive. So you need to let your breastfeeding partner know that they are not alone, okay? They need to know that you've got their back, that you're there to help them. It's nerve-wracking to be out in public breastfeeding alone. I mean, it still has a really nasty, like, stigma attached to it, because I am even trying to acknowledge my own stigma I have towards it, right? Because I don't want it to be there, but we kind of are all taught that it's not something that should be done, at least here in the States, right? And so being supportive, letting your partner know that they're not alone, that this is a partnership, that they are not the only person breastfeeding. It's not just their responsibility. It's not just their journey, but it's a joint journey with the two of you combined. So you can put your arm around them. You can put your hand on their shoulder. You can sit next to them. You can play with the baby's feet, you know, just kind of let the partner know that you're there. You're conscious. You're not just playing on your phone. They can't play on their phone. They're breastfeeding, right? So, like, you're not playing on your phone. You're not, you know, putting your attention somewhere else. You're there. They're there. The baby is there. And it's a family effort. Everybody is in it together. So number one, absolute important thing is be supportive.
Aydian being the support in public feels like he's present. It feels like he's touching my arm, or has his arm around me, or touching my leg, and I know without looking at him or looking up from the baby that he is present, he's got my back, he's kind of like holding the space, holding the safe container for us to breastfeed in.
Number two is be the hands. So your breastfeeding partner is going to be caring about the baby who is upset and probably crying and making noise and pretty frustrated because it's hungry. So they're not really like gonna be focused. At least I know for a fact when Antler is hungry, Jenilee is not focused on me. She's not focused on where she's going. She's just focused on feeding that baby. So you need to be the hands for your partner. So, you know, pull out a chair, move things so that they can get comfortable. You know, take out the burp cloth, put it on their shoulder. You know, sometimes Antler will be, you know, need some lifting up, some adjustment. So sometimes I'll like wrap up my jacket and put it underneath Jenilee to support her. Or, you know, like sometimes we have this like little thing in our diaper bag that like is kind of like a place to change Antler. And so sometimes I'll put that underneath her. But the point is like, she doesn't have any hands. Like if she wants to have a drink, if she wants to like check her phone, anything like that, she really can't, because it's all attending to Antler. So be the hands, okay? That's another way to show your support. Another way for you to also just remember that like you're here to support your partner. You're not here to judge. You're not here to let those old thoughts that we've been taught from society to keep rolling in our head. We're here to change those thoughts. So, you know, actively be a part of the breastfeeding process. So it's not just your partner breastfeeding, it's you also breastfeeding.
Aydian being the hands when we are breastfeeding in public is so important, because again, I'm focusing on the baby and I don't necessarily remember to grab a burp cloth from the car or from the diaper bag. Him being able to give me props to help support Antler so Antler's not like falling down. Usually at home I have pillows, so if he could find something, whether it be his jacket or something in the diaper bag that can support me, that's amazing, because Antler tends to get fussy if he's not comfortable, if he's not held really comfortably, and that can be hard without pillows, especially because he's growing so big.
So the third tip is to be the eyes. So again, your partner is worried about feeding this baby, and I know for a fact Jenilee sometimes is just going right for the spot and not necessarily looking for her comfort or anything like that. And it's not about finding a place that's hidden and off to the side. That's not what it's about. What it's about is finding, oh, does this bench have a pillow? Does this, you know, does this spot look more comfortable? Is this in the sun? Is this in the shade? The comfortableness of it, right? And the other thing is that when you are their eyes, you can also kind of be protection for them. You can kind of look around, you can see. So like, you know, Jenilee, for instance, she needs to focus on Antler and feeding him. He gets antsy, he comes off the breast, he comes on the breast. She needs to make sure she's fully present with Antler. So I need to make sure that I can be her eyes. I can be her protection in a way, right? So I'm gonna scan the room. I'm gonna make sure, is that guy looking at us weird? Is that couple looking at us weird? Like, what's going on, right? And also so that if anyone looking in has something to think or say about it, they know that like, they have to come through me first. They're not just going to be able to start attacking aggressive or being aggressive towards Jenilee while she's feeding. They need to come at me first, and they'll have to get through me before they can get to her, which also sends some relief again to Jenilee, so that if something did come up, she knows that she's not going to be attacked and that I'm there and that I have got her back.
So it's really helpful when Aydian can be the eyes for me when I need to breastfeed in public, because when Antler wants to eat, everything in my body starts to go on high alert, like I need to feed this baby, and like I can't really see beyond that. So figuring out the best or most comfortable spot to sit in, figuring out, you know, are there people staring at me or being confrontational or anything like that? Like everything that's going on outside of Antler is really off my radar, and that alone creates fear in me, because I think, you know, there's just this motherly instinct of like wanting to protect my child and myself. And so Aydian being the eyes for me and being able to scope out the most comfortable spot and being able to kind of be the one to make eye contact with anyone that might be staring or have something to say to us feels really, really supportive to me. So overall, breastfeeding in public is so much easier with a partner. And if you can have a conversation with your partner about the type of support you need when you're breastfeeding in public, it's a game changer. It really is. And then at times when you don't have a partner, you kind of remember what they did to be supportive, and you can more easily support yourself. That's the way I see it. Because right, I don't have my partner in my back pocket. He's not going to be there every time. But if you can continue to try when you are together to develop support for each other, I think it can really change the game and bring comfort to both people.
So the last thing besides those 3 tips is a little bonus, and this is a reminder that it is not about you. It's not about the partner. It is about the breastfeeding partner. It's about the baby. It's about the safety of the baby. It's about the safety of the family. It's not about you. And if you keep projecting it out as this is a fear that I have and I'm projecting it onto my baby and onto my partner, they're going to pick up on it and it's not going to be a good situation. And that's when arguing occurs. That's when you're not on the same page. That's when the partnership breaks apart and it's no longer a partnership. Not saying this is going to break you up. I'm just saying, like, you've really got to come together in a bonding way to support your baby as a family. And so that means you need to support yourself and your partner. So I hope that these tips helped. Please, if you have any other tips, drop them in the comment section below. We want to hear about them. We want to share them with other families. Otherwise, if you like the video, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.